What's up, guys? The performance bonuses tonight. Al Hassan, Mirchart, obviously Giga, and this other one here. Yeah, Sabatini, yeah. Those guys all won 50,000. Huh? Yeah, Al Hassan, yeah. So I also felt like the fight of the night, should have gone to Ricky and Brady. So I'm going to kick them some money too. It was a great fight, split decision, and give them a check too. This is going to be 50,000, but it'll be good. They won't be disappointed.
Right. Wait, one quick question, medical update. Do you happen to hear Jamal Emmer's status?
Yes, incredible. So it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. I know. It's fucking believable. I think they did an x-ray on him. He's probably got to get an MRI to be sure, but so far so good. It's looking like nothing happened to his knee, Could just be some ligaments in there and painful, swollen. Hopefully that's the case. I felt bad for that kid.
Yeah. Good to hear. The return of the Ultimate Fighter, right? You were saying he would come back for years. People were saying, we don't need it anymore. But what did you think? It's in the books now. What did you think of the return?
You know what? It did really well for us. It killed it as far as viewership goes. So they're really happy. We're really happy. And, I love the show. I said before, and I'll say it again, that show will probably never go away. While I'm here anyway, it works.
Yeah. Are there any plans for the next season already? Have you started talking about it?
We're doing one a year. So, now that this one's over, we'll start figuring out what's next. And we never really figure out the coaches till literally 2 weeks before the show is getting ready to get started. So we'll see what the landscape looks like at the time we start doing it again and what the weight classes are, and we'll figure out who the coaches are.
Did want to ask you about Ricky. He seems to be kind of the sensation off the show. You said it was the fight of the night. What do you think about the kid just as his personality? And then obviously the fight in their night was amazing.
Yeah, he's our Diego Sanchez 2.0. He's tough. I mean, those kids fought their asses off, and I'm looking forward to see what he does here.
And I was going to ask you about Brady as well, because as you said, I think everybody thought it was the fight of the night. I know he's a young guy, but do you think you'd bring him in as well, or let him?
Yeah, no, I think that I think he really proved himself tonight. Yes, when we get in that matchmaking meeting on Tuesday, I will push the boys to give him another shot. It was a great fight.
Very nice. And then, of course, the main event tonight, two of the best strikers in the world go at it. Giga is now 7-0 in the UFC. Just can you talk about, what you see in Giga?
So badass. I was so excited for this fight, and I've been geeking out ever since it got over. So that was some high-level shit that we saw tonight between those two. And, I knew on paper that this thing had the potential to be, what it was.
Yeah. He had a great idea. He said, hey, look, I'd like to be a backup for the title fight. If not, I'd like Max Holloway. Do you like him being a backup for the title fight or him fighting Max Holloway?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll again, I don't think about that type of stuff the night of. I love the fact that he said it. I love the fact that he wants to do it. We'll see where you guys determine he ends up in the rankings. And I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Nice. Last thing for me, I did want to ask: Are you a Tyron Woodley fan tomorrow night? This Jake Paul keeps mentioning your name. He says he's going to knock you out if he runs across you in Vegas. So are you tuning in and cheering for Tyron tomorrow?
It actually makes sense. I'm 52 years old. I'm in the age bracket of guys he fights. So I could see him wanting to fight me. It's all he fights are 50-year-olds. Kev.
I was going to let you finish there. Wait, when you look at the difference between Barboza and Chikadze, what stood out to you is I said to John during the fight that it seemed like both guys were throwing a lot of kicks, but Giga was throwing hands more than Edson was.
Yeah, I think he was just getting off quicker than Edson was. I think Edson hurt him to the body one time, and I think Edson hurt him with a leg kick one time too, a calf kick, shin kick, whatever, wherever that landed, it looked like it hurt him. And it looked like he hurt him to the body. So, I mean, those two were, like I said, that was some high-level shit. I mean, if you are an MMA reporter, blogger, whatever you are, and you weren't here tonight, you're nuts. You're absolutely fucking batshit nuts. to be able to see a fight like we got to see tonight is one of those rare and special moments in sports, yeah.
I know Max Holloway takes a lot of pride in being called the best boxer, the best striker in MMA. Giga, call it. I know you're going to think about what is next for him, but just when you think about a potential Holloway versus Giga fight, would that be maybe the two best strikers in the sport, in your opinion?
Yeah. And listen, there's a lot of guys in that weight class that should excite us all about Giga fighting. Go ahead.
One over here. Daniel Rodriguez, every time we see him, the kid has something new. He looked really good in the takedown defense against Kevin Lee, who had some troubles after the first round. What do you see for him? And we're talking about how marketable that kid is, especially in Los Angeles. When the world opens up again, that could be a great card to have him actually be present on.
Yeah, I love guys like him. Absolute savage. Takes that fight on 2 weeks' notice against Kevin Lee. He did get taken down the first round, but then successfully defended himself, a few other times. You got to remember, he didn't have anywhere near a training camp for that fight. So to come in and do what he did against Kevin is very impressive. But yeah, I'm with you that he should definitely really start working on that takedown defense now in that wrestling, because, he's been dying to break into the top 15. Again, we will see if he did it with his performance tonight on just 2 weeks' notice.
Just a follow-up on the Jake Paul comment. When you have a somewhat professional fighter threatening to assault a 50-something-year-old man who is not a fighter, do you have paperwork for that? Or are there attorneys that need to have conversations now? Or how do you respond to that?
Let me tell you what. Get in line. There's plenty of people that would like to assault me. Get in line. It's a long fucking line, buddy. You're going to be waiting for a while. No, it doesn't bother me. This is the business we're in. I say it all the time about the fighters, too. We are not in the nice guy business. It's a very mean business. I say many mean things about people, too. And it's just part of this game. It's all good.
On the flip side of that Daniel Rodriguez fight, we had Kevin Lee. I think a lot of people were wondering how he was going to look at this division. What do you do with Kevin Lee now? He tried to make the move to this division, and it didn't seem to work out so well for him.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Again, that's a thing that we will get together on Tuesday and talk about and figure out what's next for him. Here or not here.
And then another one that we love to see, but he was upset with the way that the judges, but Sam Alvey was, I don't know how you scored it. I didn't think he should be so upset about how the decision was, but he was purely irate. But this is another guy that we love seeing him, but he's another guy that's now, I think, five losses in a row.
Yeah.
Or something.
So he's one of those guys that is so tough and so durable and always fights his ass off and shows up and will take on anybody, anywhere. We love guys like that. We love guys that actually show up to fight. It's easy to get here and you get to a point where maybe you've lost 3 in a row, right? And this is your fourth fight after 3 losses. And at some point during the fight, you can tell, all right, this guy's just here to get his paycheck, and you never see that with a guy like Sam Alvey. We love those type of people. We respect those type of people, and that's why he's still here. You saw it tonight, too.
And I know, looking forward, I know we're getting ready to hop into one of your favorite things ever, the Contender Series. But I guess if you could wrap up, how great was this season? How of the Ultimate Fighter, culminating in a night like this, and now you're running into the Contender Series next week?
Yeah, I'm always happy when we get a finale like we got tonight. These guys came in and they fought their asses off. I know that there's always negativity that surrounds a lot of the things that we do, and there was some going into, people were like, you got the Contender, why do you need the Ultimate Fighter? The Ultimate Fighter killed it on ESPN Plus, killed it. So there's still plenty of people out there that love it, a lot of people that want to see it, and I still like doing it, and I still think it's important. I think that, listen, you guys know how I feel about the Contender Series and how much I love doing I can't wait for Tuesday. And I actually played the promo for the fighters that are fought tonight in the fighter meeting for the Contender Series. That's how much I love the Contender Series. But the Ultimate Fighter brings a whole nother dimension to bringing up young talent. Living in the house, the pressure cooker that I always talk about. You got to fight several times, make weight several times. If you can make it through the Ultimate Fighter, you can make it through anything. And I think that the show speaks for itself. How many world champions it's produced, how many stars it's produced, how many top 15 fighters it's produced. I hope I answered your question.
Also, looking ahead, Darren Till's coming back next week. Just thoughts early in the week on what that fight's going to be like.
Edmund sat next to me for the main event. We were talking about that tonight. Very excited for that fight. Excited for that fight. Guys, there's so many good fights. Did you guys see that we just announced the whole, well, not the whole, but most of the New York City card? Card's insane. Our Abu Dhabi card is insane. And yes, we have the Till Brunson fight coming, which I'm excited about too.
And what is it trending like for Fight Week, and what are you guys kind of envisioning for what that's going to look like coming up in less than a month here?
Which one?
For International Fight Week that you're having with the September 25th card here in Vegas and everything around that.
Yeah, that card's gonna sell out. It's gonna be a sellout, and yeah, we'll be interesting to see how International Fight Week does. You know, how many people we get into town that week, and how successful all the events are that happen that week. I don't know. Like I said, you guys know me long enough to know I used to know a lot of these things. I don't know anything anymore, man. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
And maybe a random question, but the president of the Golden Knights was here tonight, George McPhee. I don't know if you got a chance to talk to him and what he thought about it.
I didn't. I knew that he was coming tonight, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. You'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Hopefully you love that main event.
And last thing is, do you plan on going to the Raiders opener against the Ravens?
Yes, I will be there. I have a box, so I'll be in my box.
Hey, Dana, just to follow up on one thing, is New York solid, or is there any part with the vaccine stuff that it could change it? Because I know here on that night is Canelo Alvarez fight at T-Mobile, so it would seem to mean if you had to move it out of New York that Vegas wouldn't be an option.
Yeah. Again, normally I would have answers to these things 2 years ago. Who knows? I mean, they have assured us that we'll be good to go, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully we get in there, sell it out, and we have an incredible event in New York City like we used to at MSG. So I hope so. Go ahead, buddy.
Two quick ones, Dana. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Circling back to the MSG, I know I'm with it, but what was the thought process, or how did you guys come to the conclusion of having the two title rematches with Rose and?
I just think that's the way it played out. Obviously, listen, every Saturday I want to put on the best fights that I can possibly put on. But when you go to a building like MSG, you know, and it's our first time back in a couple of years, you want to deliver and you want to come in with a bang, and you want New Yorkers and anybody in the area around New York, from Boston, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, New Jersey, and the list goes on to say, Philly, you know, we're going to New York for this event.
Excellent. I know Rose has gone there and won, so she'll be happy.
Yeah, no, I mean, the main event was one of the greatest fights you'll ever see. The co-main event was one of the most shocking, and I think it's the fight that everybody wants to see again. And then you go right down the line of the fights that are on the card. Every fight on there could be a main event on a fight night. So it's a badass card.
And you mentioned not knowing exactly, so I won't press you, but with the mechanics of the Hall of Fame induction, whether you have fans or not, that's moving forward.
Yeah, no, the Hall of Fame, there'll be fans. That thing's at Park MGM, and I just went to Bruno Mars there last night. That place was jam-packed madness. So, yes, we will have fans there.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Good? Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.